The 33 Strategies of War, by Robert Greene, is a book that explores timeless strategies and principles derived from military history and applies them to various aspects of life. Here's a detailed summary of the key themes and strategies covered in the book. The Polarity Strategy. Understand the dynamic of opposing forces and the interplay between them. By recognizing and exploiting the imbalances, you can gain an advantage. The Guile and Deception Strategy. Use deception and clever tactics to confuse and misdirect your opponents. Manipulate their perceptions and expectations to gain the upper hand. The Deadlock Strategy. When facing a stalemate, find alternative solutions or pathways to break through. Think creatively and consider unconventional approaches to overcome obstacles. The Defensive Warfare Strategy. When faced with a superior force, adopt a defensive stance and create barriers that exhaust and frustrate your opponents. Wear them down over time. The Offensive Warfare Strategy. Take the initiative and attack decisively when the conditions are in your favor. Seize opportunities and strike with speed and intensity to overwhelm your opponents. The Diversion Strategy. Distract and divert your opponent's attention to create openings and exploit their weaknesses. By manipulating their focus, you can control the flow of the conflict. The Concentrated Force Strategy. Focus your resources and energy on a specific target or objective. By directing your efforts with precision, you maximize your impact and increase your chances of success. The Chain Reaction Strategy. Identify and exploit vulnerabilities in the system or organization to trigger a cascading effect of disruption and chaos. Target key nodes that will have a domino effect on the overall structure. The Counterbalance Strategy. When facing a stronger opponent, find allies or elements that can balance the power dynamic. Align yourself with forces that can provide support and counteract the strength of your adversary. The Divide and Conquer Strategy. Fragment your opponent's unity and create discord among them. Exploit their internal divisions and conflicts to weaken their collective power. The Maneuver Strategy. Move strategically and swiftly to outmaneuver your opponents. By positioning yourself advantageously, you can control the battlefield and limit their options. The Chaos Strategy. Embrace chaos and uncertainty to create opportunities for yourself. Thrive in unpredictable situations and be adaptable, as chaos can disrupt your opponent's plans. The Retreat Strategy. Temporarily withdraw or retreat to gain perspective and regroup. Use retreat as a strategic move to deceive your opponents, lure them into a false sense of security, and create a trap. The Counterbalance Strategy. Recognize the strengths and weaknesses of your opponents and adapt your approach accordingly. Use their own strengths against them and find their vulnerabilities to exploit. The Psychological Strategy. Understand the psychology of your opponents and manipulate their emotions, desires, and fears. Create confusion, doubt, and hesitation to weaken their resolve. The Offensive Strategy. Maintain a relentless offensive and keep your opponents on the defensive. By sustaining the pressure, you exhaust and demoralize them, making them more susceptible to defeat. The Strategic Withdrawal Strategy. Withdraw from a losing situation gracefully to minimize losses. Preserve your resources and regroup for future opportunities. The Deterrent Strategy. Develop a reputation that discourages others from challenging you. Cultivate an aura of strength and invincibility to deter potential adversaries. The Illusion Strategy. Create illusions and deceive your opponents to control their perceptions. Manipulate their beliefs and expectations to gain an advantage. The Feigned Madness Strategy. Adopt the appearance of irrationality or unpredictability to confuse and intimidate your opponents. Use erratic behavior to create doubt and hesitation in their actions. The Demoralization Strategy. Undermine the morale and confidence of your opponents. Attack their beliefs and values, isolate them, and create an atmosphere of doubt and disillusionment. The Strategic Depth Strategy. Develop alternative plans and contingencies to maintain flexibility and adaptability. By having multiple options, you can adjust your approach based on the changing circumstances. The Orchestrated Chaos Strategy. Create controlled chaos to disrupt your opponent's plans and coordination. By injecting confusion and disorder, you exploit their weaknesses and seize control of the situation. The Strategic Withdrawal Strategy. Recognize when the costs of a conflict outweigh the benefits and choose to disengage. Avoid unnecessary battles and conserve your resources for more favorable opportunities. The Surgical Strike Strategy. Focus your efforts and resources on precise targets to achieve maximum impact. By striking with precision, you avoid unnecessary collateral damage and minimize resistance. The Psychological Warfare Strategy. Wage psychological warfare to weaken your opponent's morale and disrupt their decision-making. Use propaganda, misinformation, and fear tactics to gain an advantage. The Strategic Alliances Strategy. Forge alliances and partnerships with those who share common interests or goals. By pooling resources and expertise, you increase your collective power. The Tactical Withdrawal Strategy. Temporarily retreat from a confrontation to reassess and reposition yourself. Use the element of surprise to launch a more effective counterattack. The strategic advantage strategy. Seek and exploit strategic advantages that can tilt the balance in your favor. Identify and leverage unique strengths, resources, or positions to gain an upper hand. The indirect approach strategy. Circumvent your opponent's defenses and attack from unexpected angles. Find alternative paths that bypass their strongholds and target their vulnerabilities. The stratagem strategy. Use clever and cunning tactics to outsmart your opponents. Employ ruses, disguises, and misdirection to confuse and deceive them. The opportunistic strategy. Be alert to opportunities that arise during conflicts. Exploit unexpected events or weaknesses in your opponents to gain an advantage. The eternal battle strategy. Recognize that the battle for power and control is ongoing. Be prepared for continuous challenges and adapt your strategies to ever-changing circumstances. The 33 Strategies of War draws on historical examples, military campaigns, and philosophical insights to provide readers with a comprehensive understanding of strategic thinking and the application of these strategies in various contexts. It emphasizes the importance of careful planning, flexibility, and psychological manipulation to gain an edge in conflicts and achieve desired outcomes.